Assalamu alaikum. Hello guys, grade 7. How are you? I hope you are okay and safe. Okay, today we're gonna talking about the lesson number 1 in chapter 7, and this is chapter talking about the nervous system. And you can remember in this book we're talking about the some systems in human body, and each one of them have functions and specific organs that do specific function in your body, and each one of them can helping together to make the life cycle of the human body. Excellent. So today we're gonna talking about the, like what I said, the nervous system. So the nervous system in human body, that's specific or important function to keeping alive to the human body. So nervous system, lesson number 1 in this chapter 7, how the nervous system works. Actually, you can remember the relation between the nervous system and homeostasis. That's what we're talking about in chapter number 1 in this book. And the nervous system have a specific function. Who can remember the specific function of nervous system? Who can remember? The nervous system have responsible of all the activities that what we doing every day. So that's the system that's responsible of all activities that human nervous system. Excellent. We can watching this video that can make imagination that of the nervous system. So this is video that can make imagination for the process for traveling the nerve in the nervous system. So that's responsible of all activities and what we can doing in every day in our life. So you can imagine what is happening in these particles. So you can go to the next step in the beginning in this lesson. So when we wake up every morning, actually in sometimes you can feeling some hard feeling in your arm or in your leg. That's called called pins and needles sensation. That's happen when you sleep in your arm. Actually a long time period of time we can feeling this sensation called pains and needles sensation, and this is happen because that nervous system. So how can this is happen, and why we can feeling in this sensation? So the pins and needles feeling actually happen when you remove the pressure from the nervous. They begin to descend a normal flow of messages from your arm to your brain again. You slowly return normal feeling in your arm. So that's happen because the removing the pressure from your nerves in your arm, that can make the nervous system make feel like hard feeling or pains. So we can watching this video or animation video that explain how the pins and needles sensation happen in nervous system, or the mind sensation in the nervous system.
does the pain you experience when you burn your hand result so quickly in an action by your muscles? Many animals respond to environmental stimuli using specialized cells called neurons.
A stimulus is detected by sensory receptors, and the body responds through motor effectors. These cells working together allow you to respond very quickly to threats. When you touch something hot, heat receptors of a sensory neuron detect the stimuli and send the information of heat to an interneuron in your central nervous system. From there, a motor neuron sends a response from your central nervous system to the skeletal muscles in your arm, causing them to contract and pull your hand away. The fundamental process of neural transmission that underlies this action occurs in all neurons of the body. Neurons transmit this information through changes in the electrical potential of the membrane by the movement of ions across the membrane. An electrochemical gradient governs the movement of these ions, resulting in an electrical impulse. The resting membrane potential...
That's enough. So that's talking about what is the role of the nervous system. In the beginning, what is the nervous system? What is the made up of the nervous system? Nervous system is the communication of networks that including the brain. So what is the main functions of the nervous system? Number one, receives information and responsible of body responding, and that's helping maintain homeostasis. That's what we're talking in chapter number 1 about the homeostasis, and this is the relationship between the homeostasis and nervous system. So all activities in our lives that's happen because the nervous system, the communication network that's including the brain. So the main organ here in nervous system is the brain, and that's responsible for feeling, testing all activities in our life. So what's made up the nervous system? The organs like brain and spinal cord and nervous. Nervous that's like for the leg, and spinal cord that's mainly in the backbone. So spinal cord that's the main organ after the brain here in the backbone, and nervous is that's responsible of traveling the nerve. So any change or signal in the environment that an organism can recognize and react to, so is this called a stimulus. A stimulus that's a response is a reaction to a stimulus. So a stimulus that's what only responds to reaction. So that's happen in or when feeling something or tasting some food. That's process happen. Excellent. So when going in next point, that's talking about the very important part in the nervous system is the neuron. Neuron is the cell that's responsible for traveling the nerves around your body, from the brain to the muscles. So this is the shape of the neuron that's responsible for traveling the messages from the brain to your muscles. And the neurons, cells that carry information throughout your nervous system, are called neurons. So neurons, that's cells, kinds of cells that's responsible for traveling the nerves from your brain to your muscles or your part or your human parts. And another name that's called nerve cell. So we can watch here that's made up of in the top of the this is neurons, dendriters, that's third like network, and that's made up there for cell, that's normal cell, that's made up from nervous tissue and nucleus inside it, and axon myelin and axon tips. That's the end of this is neuron. And there are kinds of neuron. Number one, called, we have three kinds of neuron. Number one, sensory neurons, and motor neurons and inner neurons, and each one have a specific function. Number one, sensory neurons, that picks up stimulus and converts it into a nerve impulse. Number two is motor neuron that sends an impulse to muscle or gland that's enabled to respond. And number three, inner neurons that carries a nerve impulse to another inner nerve or mirror nerve. So sensory nerves that's responsible of picks up the molus alt molus. Mirror nerves that's responsible of your brain. So inner nerves that's in your brain only, and sensory that can picks up that sensation. Mirror that's helping to transfer the nerve from this is part to this is part. So this is point, that last point in this is lesson, that's talking about how do nerve impulse travel in your body. How this is happen from you touching something hot or tasting some food and travel from your cells or your tongue to your brain. How this happen, and that's happen in faster time. That's faster time. So this is image that's explain that what's happen in nerve impulse travel from your neuro to the brain or to the muscles again. So nerve impulse travel as electric signals. That we should know this. Nerve that travel in nerve impulse in electric signals in neurons. Okay, and this is electric signals that change to chemical form, allowing the message to cross the gap into synapse. So the synapse is the place that change the electric signals to chemical form. So we can watching here, that's neuron that's traveling the electric signals. When the electric signals that arrive to the synapse, this is place happen to change the electric signals to the chemical signals. So this is called axon tape. That's what we're talking about in the last slide, and that is chemical carrying impulse, and that is happen traveling or all the processes that's responsible of the nervous system. And now you can do the activity or specific activity from your order from your brain. So again, nerve impulse travel in neurons that travel only in electric signals. When arrived to the synapse, that's changed to chemical, and that's end of the processing. So in these steps, your brain make an order for this activity to make an action or respond the reaction. Excellent. You can watching this video that explain all the processes for nervous system from beginning to ending of the processes. So watching this video and we can complete.
Let's examine an individual neuron up close. Here is a peripheral nerve. Each one of the nerve bundles, or fascicles, contains hundreds of individual nerve fibers. Here's an individual neuron with its dendrites, axon, and cell body. The dendrites are tree-like structures. Their job is to receive signals from other neurons and from special sensory cells that tell us about our surroundings. The cell body is the headquarters of the neuron. It contains the cell's DNA. The axon transmits signals away from the cell body to other neurons. Many neurons are insulated like pieces of electrical wire. The insulation protects them and allows their signals to move faster along the axon. Without it, signals from the brain might never reach muscle groups in the limbs. Motor neurons are responsible for voluntary control of the muscles all over the body. The operation of the nervous system depends on how well neurons communicate. For an electrical signal to travel between two neurons, it must first be converted to a chemical signal. Then it crosses a space about a millionth of an inch wide. The space is called a synapse. The chemical signal is called a neurotransmitter. Neurotransmitters allow the billions of neurons in the nervous system to communicate with one another. That's what makes the
So this is the end of this lesson. I hope you understand what I said, and please study well and hard, and I hope you are okay and healthy and safe. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.